Whoa, what was that?
Where was that guy going? Because whatever was on the other side of that red light, it apparently couldn't wait another 6 seconds. You ever notice how everybody moves now? Not walks, moves. Like there's some invisible countdown clock following them around all day. Have people always been like this? For thousands of years, our ancestors wandered around trying not to get eaten. Actual survival stuff. For most of human history, moving fast actually made sense. If you heard something in the bushes, that wasn't anxiety, that was information. Back then, being wrong had consequences, like super final consequences. You didn't get a warning email, you didn't get a text, you got eaten. See, that'll change a person. Lesson learned. Back then, paying attention wasn't some self-help book advice. It wasn't mindfulness. It wasn't living in the moment. It was survival. If you ignored something important, nature had a way of correcting the mistake. Think about this. Every single person in your family tree survived. Every one of them. Thousands of years, thousands of lives, storms, disease, predators, famine, accidents, bad decisions, very, very bad decisions, like such bad decisions. And somehow, the chain never broke. You are the result of every one of those people making it. Think about this. Every single one of your ancestors made it. Every one of them. Predators, bad luck, they figured it out. And somehow, they got us here, which is pretty impressive. And then I look around. We're still in a hurry. Nobody's running from a mammoth, we're just going to Costco. That seems a little excessive to me. Maybe that's it. Maybe our brains never got the update. A mammoth shows up? Yeah, probably pay attention to that. I don't think we're built for this. I mean, think about it. A caveman hears something in the bushes. His brain says, pay attention. Okay, fair enough. My phone buzzes, my brain goes, hold everything. This could be important. It's a picture of somebody I haven't talked to since high school. Literally nothing important. I don't think we're ignoring the world around us. I think there's just too much world. How many things are you supposed to pay attention to? The weather, the news, your job, your family, your friends, your phone, your email. And apparently Brenda from high school went paddleboarding? That's somehow important now. We've got more information hitting us before breakfast than some of our ancestors got in a month, and somehow we're expected to keep up with all of it. Honestly, I feel like we're asking a lot out of one brain. Have you ever thought about that? How much stuff one person is supposed to know now? Not that long ago, you probably knew your family, your neighbors, the weather, and whether or not your cow got out. That was a pretty full day. Now, you wake up and somehow you're expected to know what's happening. In your town, in your country, for God's sake, even on the other side of the planet. And apparently, what Brenda had for lunch. Always with the Brenda posts. I'm so over the Brenda garbage. That's information my ancestors never had to deal with. Honestly, I think they had the better system. But then again, I don't know. My ancestors probably would have traded places with me in like 5 seconds. They would have looked around, seen grocery stores, air conditioning, antibiotics, indoor plumbing, clean drinking water whenever you wanted it. They would have thought we were living in some kind of magic fairyland. Honestly, they definitely would have thought Brenda was weird too. You know, that kid's probably gonna grow up thinking space travel is normal. I wonder what people 100 years from now are gonna think about us. I bet they laugh. I bet they've got a museum somewhere that says ancient human artifacts. There would be smartphones, a TV remote, a drawer full of charging cables that don't fit anything. Future historians standing around saying, like, what was this one even for? You know, every generation worries about the kids coming up behind them. They're too soft. They spend too much time with technology. They've got it too easy. I'm pretty sure my grandparents said that, and I'm willing to bet their grandparents said it too. Then those kids grow up. They figure some things out, make a few mistakes, invent a couple new problems, fix a couple old ones, and somehow the story keeps going. Perhaps that's the trick. Perhaps every generation thinks the next one's gonna ruin everything, and every generation's a little bit wrong. I don't know, that kid in the astronaut helmet? I think he's gonna be all right. Maybe that's how we've always made it this far. Not because every generation had all the answers, because they just kept going. They did the best they could, made a mess of things, cleaned up what they could, and handed the world to the next bunch. I guess that's all any of us are really doing. You know, maybe we don't notice the good stuff enough. Little things. Someone picks up what somebody else dropped. Someone stops to help. Nobody gets a trophy for it. Nobody ends up on the news. They just do it. Maybe that's how we've always managed. One little decent thing after another. Not out of obligation, but just because it's the right thing to do. Sometimes I wonder if we've got a bad habit. Every generation seems convinced the whole thing's about to fall apart. Nobody talks to each other anymore. Kids spend too much time staring at screens. Nobody goes outside. People don't know their neighbors. Everybody's always offended about something. The world's changing too fast. Humanity's doomed. Maybe, but I'm pretty sure people have been saying that for a very long time. I'm pretty sure some caveman looked over at another caveman and thought, check out this guy. He won't even chase a mammoth. Kids these days don't know how to throw a rock. Nobody sits around the campfire anymore. This tribe's falling apart. And yet, here we are. Not perfectly. We've made some absolutely spectacular mistakes. But we've also invented sandwiches, indoor plumbing, air conditioning, and against all odds, we managed to keep grandmas around long enough to spoil their grandkids. There's no way to know for sure. Maybe we're doing better than we think.